a quicker picker-upper production. Make your emotions work for you. Train your emotions to do your laundry and bring you Pop-Tarts. A.R. Lauer, who hasn't shown an emotion in 8 years. 3 guesses what this represents. Peppy music for a forest fire.
Before men learned how to control fire and put it to work, it was man's greatest enemy.
Since replaced by Andy Dick.
In much the same way, your emotions can be your own greatest enemy.
That's called an analogy.
Or, under control, your emotions can make you healthier and happier, and improve the lives of people around you.
If you're into that.
I think of fire in connection with emotions, because when you become stirred up, when your emotions control your actions,
I want to burn you.
it affects not only yourself, but the people around you.
This is what I hear, anyway.
Psychologists find that control of emotions can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern.
Of Lindsay Lohan.
When you have certain experiences, you respond with various emotions.
Whoa, slow down.
Stimulus response. Just as this sort of stimulus
Owie.
produces this sort of involuntary muscular response.
This guy's analogies really speak to me.
Well, that's a rather simplified suggestion of a complex mental process.
But what do you want from me? I'm a
But
pharmacist.
you get the idea. Cause, effect.
You lost me. Sorry.
Nature endows us at birth with 3 general patterns of emotional response.
Stop, drop, and
Rage
roll.
is the response to the primary stimulus
Of Spencer Pratt.
thwarting, something interfering with our
Labeled wooden
behavior,
blocks.
our actions. Fear is the response to loud noises or loss of support.
Or loud support noises.
And the emotional response to love
It's a combination of the first 2.
is usually the result of a show of affection or favors.
So, love is a boner?
And these seem to be the emotions with which we start life.
Whoa, I'm having a response.
Then as we grow up, many everyday things and social situations become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
With Pantene Pro
And
V.
so many things and people cause us to respond emotionally. And in general, that's good. For there are many factors involved in a personality.
I'm speaking hypothetically, of course.
And a balance of emotions is important
To this nutritious breakfast.
to a well-rounded personality.
Thanks, Professor Prop Comic.
But emotions out of control, well,
Oh, stop being coy. It's icky.
let's take a look at a slice of everyday life to understand how some stimuli can bring about various emotional responses.
Yeah, or, we could not
What
do
might
that.
happen to you, or to me, or to Jeffrey Moore.
Or to Robert Downey Jr.,
Jeff
or to Ruth
is an
Buzzy.
ordinary and healthy and well-balanced young fellow. He usually gets along well with people.
At first.
And on this particular Friday afternoon, Jeff and his pals are discussing a big triple date tonight.
My dad's gonna let me have that car tonight.
And I get to wash it.
That's super.
That sounds swell, Jeff, but, well,
No, it doesn't.
I don't know if I'll be able to go. I got quite a headache.
Got a headache, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what you got? You got a headache?
Well, how
Is that what
about
you got?
letting Jeff, the old soda jerk, fix you up a snappy seltzer?
Okay.
Hey, he's not a fully licensed and bonded soda jerk. Did I mention Jeff is a spaz?
Some jerk.
The Young Jim Carrey Chronicles.
Hey, Bob, I saw the whole Y stunt. Now, just suppose you clean it
Man,
up.
this town is so intolerant of
Go
doofuses.
on, wise guy. Clean it up.
Yeah, it's right on the floor there.
See, kids, soda jerking is best left to professionals.
Wise guys, huh? Well, suppose I don't pick you up tonight.
Oh, honey, don't be
I got
sore.
a darn good notion to let you guys walk to the park.
Is this rage or love? I can't tell.
Here. Gee, I don't know.
Sheesh, all you do is mock a guy and he flips out.
Why is Jeff angry? What's the stimulus that brings on this sudden emotional response of anger or mild rage?
Is it menopause or perhaps photosynthesis?
Well, it might be that Jeff feels thwarted as he fails in the fancy trick to impress his pals. So he gets mad at his pals.
Or you could just blame God or the Democrats or something.
And now it's later than he thought. He tries a shortcut, hurrying to get home.
And yes, Nigel Incubator Jones is the new upper-class twit of the year.
Great Scott, who in the world left that there? What a time to water the lawn.
The Popeye version of
Shortcuts
emotions.
often lead to trouble, and thus loss of emotional control. You've heard, Haste makes waste.
Oh, they were talking about this idiot.
Jeff is frustrated by the sprinkler, but he asked for it.
Trying new things is for perverts and Unitarians.
Of course, Jeff's going to get the car ready for the party tonight. He wouldn't really miss a chance to impress the gang.
He's had such luck with that thus far. They'll be super impressed when they see me signaling my turns and leaving an adequate space cushion and yielding right of way according to state traffic ordinance.
But, starter won't work.
That's OnStar?
Again, his behavior is thwarted, and a habit is being developed.
Peyote.
A habit of allowing such things to annoy him.
But surely the annoying things themselves bear some of the responsibility.
Jeff's losing control of himself. His thinking is becoming muddled, and he's careless in his actions.
He richly deserves every moment of
The
this.
madder he gets, the worse it becomes. Did you ever hear anyone say, "I was so mad I couldn't see straight"?
One time at Bible camp, yeah.
Severe emotional stress often decreases efficiency. See what I mean?
Where should I be looking?
And of course, it's the fault of the wrench. This is called projection. He's projecting the blame to the wrench.
And the wrench, in turn, blames a peanut.
Well, we've seen Jeff lose control of himself in rage. Let's see how the rest of the family is doing.
I want that wrench dead.
Mother!
I'm emotioning
Mother!
again.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love the new dress you made.
Oh, thank you, Joan, dear.
See how the new dress tends to stimulate Joan's love for Mother?
Don't it make you
This
sick?
makes both Mother and Joan happier. But how does it affect Jeff?
What have you done to my dress?
And how does his anger affect the other?
Oh, you're the sweetest, bestest mother a girl ever had.
Get a room.
I'm glad you like the dress, Joan.
The hell?
Oh, I'm so happy. I could be a model.
Or a mistress.
Or a cover
Or
girl.
the subject of a depressing reality show.
What's gotten into that crazy kid's sister?
Oh, Jeff, don't be that way.
You're both pretty.
Notice how Mother seems to become angry herself because of Jeff's anger.
Neat.
Perhaps she shouldn't, but anger is a violent emotion, and we often see an induction of behavior or spread of emotion to other persons,
right.
almost like a contagious disease.
Mother's journey toward the dark side is almost complete.
Hi, Raj.
It's Dennis the Menace.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, that's my sonnet I wrote about Counselor
Hey,
Troy.
what have you got? Well, that's my letter. Give me that.
Let me.
Uh-oh, emotions.
I got
You
your letter.
dirty little sneak. You gonna give me that letter? Are you gonna give it to me?
Give it back or so help me I'll cry.
Okay. I'll show
Oh.
you up.
Suddenly it's the 400 blows.
You dirty sneaking brother. You gonna give me my letter?
Stop it.
Will you give me that letter?
This is the worst Hanukkah ever.
Off of my mail,
I
kid.
didn't know about him. Stop
Would you
it.
beat your brother outside, please?
Drop that coat hanger.
We use cricket bats in this house, mister. And the world ends, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Good night.
Sometimes
Oh.
rage, fear, and love are aroused together at the same time.
In the same hotel room.
Mother's love of her children and her fear for Roger's safety
Is just an illusion.
were mixed with anger, almost rage, at both boys for the part they played in the flare-up.
Speaking of which...
Of course.
Ouch! Oh, man.
Jeffrey's family didn't realize that he had been exposed to one irritating situation after another. An accumulation of stimuli which brought about an abnormally strong response.
Like a whole season of 2.5 Men.
And what did
for
this
example.
do to Jeff? This sort of uncontrolled emotional outburst.
He's become a monster.
Well, he regrets some of the things he said, but he can't unsay them.
He must pay with his blood.
He's tired. That feeling of fatigue may spoil a good time on his date tonight.
You know, his date with
And
two boys.
if this sort of flare-up is repeated often, it might lead to a permanently warped personality.
Like Gollum or Mel Gibson.
What could Jeff do to keep better control?
Grow a pencil mustache?
Well, we say he could, 1, eliminate the stimulus.
Kill his family?
2, modify the stimulus.
Paint his family.
Or 3, modify the response.
Grow a pair and stop whining
With
like a little
these 3
pansy.
ideas in mind, let's examine Jeff's episode again.
Let's do.
To control his emotions, Jeff eliminates the stimulus, the failure to impress his pals, by trying such fancy tricks only when he can do them successfully.
So that's out. Great job. Good jerking.
But sometimes the trick fails.
I'm sorry, I mean
There
every
are many
time.
times when you can't eliminate the stimulus. Try to modify the stimulus.
Ah, Dark
Standing
Spectre.
off and looking at himself, Jeff realizes that a slip like that won't really hurt his standing with the
The
gang.
Mannheim effect.
Taking it all lightly as a good sport, Jeff impresses the gang a lot more than if he gets angry over such a little thing.
Also, he can watch himself. Did I mention that?
It helps to recognize and understand the emotional patterns. Then it's easier to eliminate or modify the stimulus.
Why are you still talking?
And there's another, even more valuable way to control your emotions.
Quaaludes.
Modify the response. Rather than get in the habit of getting angry, Jeff can substitute.
At the local elementary
he can
school.
modify his response by seeing the humor in the situation.
I'm a huge
What
tool.
good does it do to get angry about this? When Jeff's in the habit of controlling his emotions, his thinking is straighter.
I can't emphasize straight enough.
Push the button. No starter. Let's see. Pull the light switch.
Charge the flux capacitor.
No light. That means something.
But what?
Reason it out. No horn
Maybe this
either.
isn't a car at all.
So, must be a dead battery. That's straight thinking, unmuddled by emotional disturbances.
Like Keanu Reeves.
And it's a simple thing to call the garage or someone for a push and a recharge. No need to fly off the handle and take it out on the things and the people around.
That's what pets are for. It's a living. Oh.
When he tries to understand his emotions and those of people around him, Jeff has less trouble controlling himself, and he and those around him are happier.
Because he talks less. Self-control does not apply to smug little brothers. Feel free to smack 'em
The
around.
more he exercises control of his emotional behavior, the easier it becomes to meet the next situation without losing control.
Oh, how about it? Either the plane or the letter.
Extortion trumps emotions.
And so it goes. A happier time all around when emotions are under control.
Of course, all bets are off when Dad gets home.
Hey, Raj, how about you help me get the car pushed out of the garage so we can get it started and fixed up for tonight?
No.
You know, if the car's running, I can drop you off the movies tonight before I go out.
I'm 6.
Yes, by a better understanding of the emotional patterns of everyday life, and by knowing how you respond to various stimuli, you can develop better control by eliminating the stimulus, or by modifying the stimulus,
Or by enslaving
or
children.
by modifying the response.
It's just 12 miles to the movie theater. This way.
You can control the fire of your emotions.
With new Emotion Off.
You can balance your emotions and use them so that your personality becomes more pleasant.
And non-existent.
And you and those around you are a great deal happier and healthier.
Because they won't have to put up with your crap. And remember, kids, immediately report any emotions to the nearest grown-up. And it's time to eliminate the stimulus in 3, 2, 1, bye.
Great Scott, who in the world left that there water? Time to water the lawn.